IMC Navi Mumbai Committee, and my co-chairperson Devya Momaya and a senior managing committee member Ms. Shweta. I would like to welcome you all. My special thanks to Dr. Gopal, Director and Dean of DY Patil University, and Mr. Prasad Menon, who has been closely associated with the development of entrepreneurs and startups in Navi Mumbai through their various activities. I know Dr. Gopal for a very long time, and the institute which he has been heading in the forefront of entrepreneurs development and helping the startups in Navi Mumbai. In fact, some time back, I have addressed to their students about more than 300 to 400 students on entrepreneurship development in Navi Mumbai, and they have been in the forefront in Navi Mumbai. So is Mr. Prasad, who has been running incubation centers and helping the startups in Navi Mumbai. I would like to tell that IMC has taken this initiative in Navi Mumbai to help the entrepreneurs and startups to set their base in Navi Mumbai. See, Navi Mumbai is a place which is most happening place and most appropriate place for the startups and new entrepreneurs to set up their base at a very minimum cost, and very effectively they can start their business in Navi Mumbai. So IMC Navi Mumbai has launched this initiative as a project, not as one day event or just a meeting kind of thing. In fact, Divya has already explained about the 12th January event, which was the first event of the series. And now it will be followed by 7 more such events, with the first one out of the series is today. It will last up to 10th of March. So the purpose is to motivate people in Navi Mumbai to go for entrepreneurship, take help of the experts through the IMC platform and set up their business. It is a well-known fact that whenever any business is started, whether it's small or big, it may be very frustrating because of so many compliances from various agencies can frustrate anybody. There are various issues related to funding, related to compliances, related to uh, advice on marketing, related to proper products range, etc., etc. Now, IMC Navi Mumbai has created a board of experts who will be helpful to guide the new entrepreneurs and startups to set up their business. That is the very purpose. So the very purpose is to help entrepreneurs and startups in Navi Mumbai. That's the sole purpose, not to just have the meeting and have the experts' opinion. And we have the people from different sectors, like from the academic, from the finance, from the industry, from government department. They will be helpful to guide the people how to set up industry in industrial area, etc., etc. So I will not take much of the time. My co-chairperson has already explained the purpose and the initiative by IMC Navi Mumbai. I would open the floor for the experts now, Dr. Gopal and Mr. Prasad.
Thank you so much, sir. I would now, it's indeed pleasure to introduce our speakers and experts today. So let me take the opportunity to welcome Dr. R. Gopal, and he is engineer from IIT Kharagpur in mechanical engineering and subsequently MBA, ICWA, PhD, and postdoctoral research degree, that is DLTT. He is currently the head of the department with the DY Patil Deemed University and School of Management. He has more than 27 years of corporate experience at Bush India Limited, L&T, Tata Electronics Consulting, and Siemens. And additionally, he has more than 30 years of teaching experience. That's really, really huge. So welcome you, sir, on this platform. And let me introduce our second mentor, our second expert for today, Prasad Menon. And Prasad is currently heading CIBA, that is the Center for Incubation and Business Acceleration. Prasad has over 2 decades of experience with 3 different continents in FMCG, retail, and technology with industry leaders like companies like Nokia, Reliance, Calibon. So with this, I think Prasad has found his real passion with these startups and the entrepreneurs. So welcome, Prasad, on behalf of IMC. And over to you now, Dr. Gopal, for your session, and then that can be followed by Prasad. After which we will be opening up the session for the Q&A, because we want to really make it as more kind of an interactive and not only the one-sided session. So whatever questions comes to your mind, please keep your pens, papers ready, jot it down for our experts to give you hands-on opinion and expert guidance on that. So over to you, Dr. Gopal.
So thank you, Divya. In the first place, good afternoon to Jain Saab. Namaskar to you. Sweta and Divya, a very good afternoon to you, and my co-colleague Prasad, a very good afternoon to you, and welcome to all the participants who are here. The topic today is how to start up and how to scale up. I've divided it into two parts. One is how to start up and the other one is how to scale up. Now, let me take the topic one by one. You know, the startup industry as such, I use the word startup industry because the startup industry as such has got a leg up only after May 2020, when the government of India announced a package of almost 20 lakh crore, which is about 10% of the GDP. And the beauty of that package was, for the first time, money was given to the entrepreneurs. Money was given to roadside vendors. And, you know, the amount given to them was about 10,000 rupees to start a simple pav bhaji ka dukan. Believe me when I tell you this. And then the government started giving guarantees for all the small scale industries and all of this. October 2020, Nirmala Sitharaman hiked the amount of funds given under the Atmanirbhar scheme, and the total amount given was 2.65 lakhs additional. That means almost about 30 lakh crores was given under the new scheme. Now, with this sort of a money which is available, and today let me tell you, I have been talking to a lot of bankers, and the banks are more than willing to give you the money. And I'm telling you, really, they're more than willing to give you the money, provided you meet up with some of the basic criteria which they have. Now, what is the first thing that every startup, you know, I also wanted to become an entrepreneur, but that was in 1976. And my zone was basically to be a market research consultant, but I couldn't because there was no money in the market. But the idea is what? The idea is to immediately start up by identifying the products, and you need to match the products that you want to manufacture with the skill set that you have. And once you're able to get a match out of this, then you're a winner. And the government of India has done a very beautiful thing. It's like, don't look here and there. Don't look here and there. You know, I'm banning the Chinese. Because of Wuhan, Gihan, all these things, the Ladakh activities, I'm banning the Chinese, and we import roughly about $74 billion. So $74 billion of import substitution material is available to you. They are in terms of organic chemicals, plastics, engineering goods, electrical goods, etc., etc. Additionally, something like $4 billion of bulk chemicals are being imported by India. And the government of India started putting a ban on those also. So which means those who want to get into pharma, and you know, bulk chemicals are the main ingredients, they are the heart of any pharmaceutical industry. So you have a very good chance to get into all of this. Now, the government has also said 15% of all imports have to be given to local manufacturers by the PSUs. And what are we manufacturing? Just see. We are importing transmission control valves. We are importing water light lamps. We are importing side covers, sockets, forget lamps. These are things which we can easily manufacture if you have a little bit of engineering knowledge, right? But I'm really grateful because today the younger generation is not really keen on entering into the Indian field. That's what my entering into the engineering field. That's what my discussion with many people showed. They want to get into digitalization in the digital space. And therefore, the government has banned almost 250 Chinese apps, which we can immediately substitute. Already Mode, I think it's Modes or something like this, which is a substitute for TikTok. TikTok has been banned and Modes has started taking over. Now, similarly, there are apps which are required in food aggregation. There are apps which are required for logistics. Now, we can think about that. What does Zomato do? Zomato only is a food aggregator with a fantastic app. Can we not develop something like that? So there are lots of things which we can identify and go. I did a study somewhere in the month of August 2020, and I found IT, BPO, media, supply chain, and warehousing. These are the strongest areas which are required very, very much in demand. Additionally, in the digital space, usage of artificial intelligence, implementation of IoT or application, cyber security. And the market for cyber security is going up by leaps and bounds. It's an exponential growth which is taking place. Blockchain technology is another one which is very much there. But this is all very nice. I was talking to Shweta a couple of hours ago, I think about an hour ago. She said, Gopal, point is there are a lot of people with good ideas, but they are all failing. What is it that makes them successful? Now, let me tell you, a startup is a one-man army. It's a complete one-man army. And he has to interact with the whole world. Now, what do you mean by whole world? He has to look at advertising. He has to look at sales. He has to look at distribution. He has to look at the media, finance, market research, governments, legal, publicity, packaging, the whole gambit. There is not a single area that he doesn't have to look at. And therefore, if you want to become a good startup guy, really a good entrepreneur, you need to have special skills. You need to have a marketing and strategic thinking. And finally, you need to have funding availability. Now, when you talk of special skills, I have found many startups. We at DY Patil give virtual incubation to the startup community. Yeah, and what do I find? They lack in communication skill. They have the technology, they know everything, but they lack in communication skill. They lack in strategic and marketing skills. And the most important thing is resilience. That means they give up. Why do you give up? You don't expect to get success within the first 2 months or 3 months. It takes time. And therefore, you got to work hard. You got to manage your finance. And there are a lot of financial sources which are available. I won't get into those because that I think you're going to talk in the next class, in the next week. But then, very important, what the banks told me was, He says, all these guys come up to me and say, give me money and all that, but there is no business plan. And you need a business plan to really work it out. Now, what does a business plan comprise? It's a document of about 70 to 80 pages. It talks about the market and it talks about the finance. And in the market, the very important thing is the market research. Now, you got to talk about the size of the market, the geography of the market, the government policies, how it affects you, the raw material, technology involved, who are your competitors, who are the SWOTs, etc., etc. And then you got to do a complete financial plan of the whole thing. And this is then evaluated on two bases. One is sustainable competitive advantage. That means, does the product that you're offering, is it unique? Is it something which is not there in the market? Is it something which will sell immediately, which will give you quick results? Do you have something which is unique, something which is not available? And new products and processes are something which is really, really required. Not only that, banks also do a risk versus return. I won't get into that because that must be talked about in the next Wednesday. But the banks do a sensitivity analysis. And the problem is when you offer something on the digital space, what do you have with you? You have nothing other than a table and a chair and a computer. And you have nothing else with you. And the bank says on that nothing, how can I give? You are not Vijay Mallya who can sell a brand logo and for some crores of rupees and run away. I don't even know you. And the second important thing is, banks tell me that you need to have break even within the first 2 years. And very, 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 very critical, guys, very, very critical. Success in funding is less challenging when you are able to taste blood. What do I mean by taste blood? You are able to get first few orders, develop it, make your money, and show it to the banks that here is the money that is available. And only then will you be able to succeed. And if you are not able to do this, your startup is going to be a complete failure. So these are the things which are required if you really want to become a good startup. Second, how do you scale it up? My philosophy has been, and I've been telling people, that look why the Chinese have been successful. Chinese have been successful not by thinking of China market. They have been thinking about the global market. That means size plays a very important role. You got to make for Bharat and then to the globe. I'm repeating again. You got to make for Bharat and then to the globe. But this will take you at least about 3 to 4 years before you can scale it to the world. And when you do that, one of the very important things is you need to have cost efficiencies. Whether it's a digital space, whether it's a product, or whether it's a process, you need to have the digital, you need to have your cost down. You must be able to provide value. And most important, take advantage of the government funding policies. There are hardships coming in, no doubt about it. There are hardships coming in because, as Jain Saab said, the rules, regulations, policies can make you go mad. There's no doubt about it. But then you must have that capacity to hold on to it and work towards it. And you must innovate. And when you're talking of global, you must be able to meet the respective standards which they are talking about. Look, I can see a large number of my students also there in this network which is going on. And I want to tell each one of them, young entrepreneurs can come up in three different areas. One is products, processes, and in training. You can even start your own training, because today there is a very, very strong need to train people to develop and go in a big way and prepare studies like turnaround strategies, market research studies, preparing a business feasibility studies. There is scope for young people to grow like anything. There is scope. You can grow and grow and grow. The market is too wide. The market is too big. And guys, we are here. Our own institute has got a virtual incubation center. You can come to us and we will give you all the support that you want. And with this, I think I'll come to an end to my talk. And I'm open to any question that you ask. And God bless all of you all. Thank you. And God
Thank you
bless.
so much. Thank you so much, Gopal sir. I think so many wonderful insights you have given. And let me tell you, I have also jotted down a lot of points because I am
My
also
God.
a startup. I am also a startup. So with this, let me now welcome Prasad for his introductory remarks, and then we will open the session for the Q&A. Over to you, Prasad.
Okay, thank you. I got 10 minutes, right?
Yes.
So normally I would love to know who my audience is because otherwise it becomes very difficult. I'll be talking with the assumption that I'm talking to a young aspiring entrepreneur or already an established MSME.
If you want, we can have small 2-3 questions, and please, I request every participant to post it in the chat box.
Yeah.
So I'm going to ask you 3 questions so that Prasad understands, how the audience is. So are we all entrepreneurs here? Yes, no. Type in the chat box so that we see and Prasad is able to understand how many entrepreneurs are here.
Okay.
Do we have people who have less than 5 years of business experience? Okay, we have yes, no, mix. Yes.
Yes. Some profiles I can very much make out because I know them personally.
Correct.
A lot of new
Correct.
names also. So it would be great. Just a quick number from all of your sides. How many years
Yes.
of business? Just put the
How
number.
many years?
30.
Yes, number 1, 2, 3, 4, 5.
Yes, 1 year in business, 1, 2, 30. That would be great. It would give us
or zero.
or 0 is also fine. Let me start.
There you go.
Okay.
Future
Yes.
entrepreneurs, yes.
Oh, wonderful.
Yes.
Okay, so what I'll do is I'm getting let me, I have to take the most common denominator and work with it. So I'll take an assumption that a lot of them are aspiring entrepreneurs who probably during the lockdown and COVID got some idea. If you may, I'll start with the screen. Divya, can I start?
Yes. Go ahead with your presentation. Yeah.
Yes.
Okay, my screen is visible?
Yes, it is very much.
Okay, so I'll get straight into it. So we are an incubator that is catalyzed and supported by NSTEDB, that stands for National Science and Technology Entrepreneurship Development Board. They have been the forefront of promoting startups in the technology space for more than 2 decades now. So they were there much before the term Startup India was coined. And they have been, having technology business incubator. I'll talk about that. I'll go a little fast here. I'll go slow where I think it's more relevant, and I'll go fast where I feel it's just a kind of an information sweep. So, what I would like to cover today is, it's just from the perspective of an incubator. I think there'll be a lot of questions. What's an incubator? The why, how, and what? And especially it is relevant in the context of entrepreneurship. Just a quick warm up on this. Why entrepreneurship is such a big thing in India, and we need it because India's population is growing. We won't be able to provide as many jobs as it takes. If we rely on the industries of today, they won't be able to provide us the employment of the future. There are some statistics which support that. I just took statistics around the fact that a company that is 35 years old, which means a mature company, while productivity can double, but the employment charts don't follow the same thing, which means there's a huge gap. If we want to have, if we become a nation of only employees, then who are the employers going to be? So let me also quickly bring it up in terms of an entrepreneur, right? Because there's just, why do people get into entrepreneurship? There are three distinct entrepreneurs. There may be many, but for simplicity's sake, I'm talking about first is a necessity entrepreneur. These are entrepreneurs who start a business because they really do not have better choices for work. Anybody, right, who sells, vegetables outside the railway station, to people who have started some kind of a business because they don't have any other choice of work, right? In the past, it used to be, right, नौकरी कहीं नहीं मिला, पढ़ाई में अच्छा नहीं था, इसलिए उसका खुद का धंधा खोल दिया, right? So these are necessity entrepreneurs, but not bad. They are definitely people, and in India there's a lot of necessity entrepreneurs, people who sell different wares, who buy from the wholesale market and sell on the streets, or so there are, if I think bulk of the entrepreneurs in India fall into this category. There's a whole new category of social entrepreneurs, especially in the millennials. You'll find a lot of youngsters who are there because they want to make a difference. They want to do something. They got moved. Some people say, okay, there's a huge issue with regards to climate change. Let me start a vegan restaurant, right? So the vegan restaurants have started popping up. Some people say that, hey, the people, the underprivileged section of the society are not able to get access to many of the services. So can I start a social organization? Remember, these are not NGOs. These are social entrepreneurs. They do good and they make money, but they make money only by doing good. So that's a huge movement that is happening around social entrepreneur. So much so that there are funds called impact funds who only invest in social entrepreneurship. So we have at SIVA also certain entrepreneurs who call themselves and who are actually social entrepreneurs. Moving on, the next type of entrepreneur, this is where a lot of the startups come into picture, is the opportunity entrepreneur, who take advantage of a business opportunity. They are able to identify a need in the market, they're able to identify a gap in the market. They say that this is not addressed by the existing players. I see it as an opportunity, let me get into it. So they see a business opportunity and they go and grab it. And these are the kind of entrepreneurs who have, whether Uber started this way, Airbnb started this way, big names there, but there are others also who fit into this category, whether it's a Book My Show or whether it's Make My Trip, etc., right? So the question was, I think the Dr. Gopal also mentioned, right? He gets people that why do so many startups fail, right? And there are some real challenges. It's not that you identify an opportunity and then you can make it a success. And if I show you my next slide, this looks a little bit 90%, right? But what does this 90% mean? Actually, this is like the other way around. It's 9 out of 10 startups fail. That is a statistics that is always thrown at entrepreneurs, but this should not discourage you, and because there is a reason why 9 out of 10 startups fail. One of the, let's say, the most common reason is startups or entrepreneurs work on problems which nobody has, which means it's not a problem that it's at scale. It's a problem that you may have, or your friend may have, your neighbor may have, but it's not a problem that is at scale. It's not a problem that is so widespread that it requires a solution and a venture. So most of the entrepreneurs, they work on a problem which actually nobody has, right? Because they get obsessed with the solution. So there's two ways of going to the market, right? One is from the product side and one is from the market side. People who are great in technology say, this is fantastic technology, I think this can be used there. So they do not know where. Or the other way around, I know the market, there is a need for the market, now let me build a product for it. So the question was, why do this? So I gave you one example of why the startups fail, but there are multiple. So I just want to illustrate a little bit about this. If you know what you see on the screen, it may look, I don't know how does it appear, whether the clarity is there. These are seeds under the soil.
Clear. It's very clear.
All of you are seeds under the soil. So nobody is seeing you from the top. So what happens is, if you're a seed under the soil, that's why you call a seed stage. That is the time when, if you do not get the proper support, you won't be able to come to the, it's only when the sapling is out of the soil, everybody notices you. But this first 3 or 4 years is a crucial stage. And that is the period when 9 out of 10 startups fail. If you survive the first 2-3 years, then you are able to get into that sapling phase where people are able to see you and you are able to get noticed. But during that first few years, when you're the seed, that is when you need the most of the support. Once you get into this stage, then, like I always say, you can become, you can have a totally, you can flourish, and then, you can become rainforest. These are unicorns, as they call it, right? Big companies, right? So from seed to this stage, it's not an impossible journey. But coming back to the reason why startups fail is because most of the young startups and young entrepreneurs probably recognize this. If you're straight out of college or you're straight out of school, you do not have the social capital because you do not know that many people. You do not have the entrepreneurial experience. You do not have the management experience. Your expectations are sometimes mismatched because you see all good headline stories about Zomato becoming a, Paytm becoming, Vijay Sharma becoming a millionaire, Oyo Rooms becoming successful around the world. So you hear all these stories. So your expectation does not match with what the reality is. And of course, you do not have access to a lot of financial capital. So these are most of the reasons why, when you do not have access to all of this, that's when you start wondering, that's the reason why the failure happens, right? But the question all of you are asking, how do we solve it, right? So to solve it is where, we talk about startup ecosystem. Why use the word ecosystem? It's a word that is used a lot. It's a simple reason. It takes a village to raise a child. And I think Dr. Gopal mentioned, right? You start the journey as alone, right? It's a lonely game, but it takes a village. So you need a lot more players who can give you, like you need, the startups are there, the incubators, the accelerators, investors, academic institutes, corporates, government. All of these people have to be to support this aspiring entrepreneur. So, because these are the people who can give you access to the social capital that you need, the entrepreneurial experience that you need, the management experience that you need, and people. So if you interact with other successful startups, you also come into realistic expectations also, right? And also, of course, access to funding. So, I always say, so I've been mentoring and doing these entrepreneur sessions with many young entrepreneurs. And I say, you see this like this multi-hands. It takes a lot to be an entrepreneur. It's not everybody. So you have to be self-aware. Do you have what it takes to be an entrepreneur? It's not an easy game. Do you have, like Dr. Gopal mentioned, do you have the resilience for it, right? Are you someone who would give up, right? Do you have a risk-taking ability? I always use the example of the Marwadi community, and I ask everybody, right? Why are Marwadis so much into business? So everybody says, unka ye hota hai, wo hota hai. I think the biggest secret ingredient of the Marwadi community is their ability to take risks. If you look at other communities, they don't take as much risk as, so people only hear good and successful stories of those communities, but they do not hear the journeys that they have taken, the risk that they have taken in order to reach that success. There are many such things that are there around this. So I will not go into each one of them. I'll just quickly go. So if you all are the aspiring entrepreneurs, you do have the skill set, you have the knowledge of whatever opportunities you have found, you have all of that. If you have all of that, then the journey from this potential entrepreneur to become a successful, let's say, from here to become an owner. So basically somebody who is already established firm, that 3.5 year journey, approximately, I'm just putting it, it's not an exact science, but this is what it takes. right, from here to here. But between this period is the conception, because the idea has to be conceived, the proof of concept has to be there. Then, see, what happens is most of the time people feel that registering a company, having a fancy website and having a business card, matlab maine chalu kiya. That is not the birth of the firm. There is a part before that is validation of the idea, validation of the problem that you're solving, right? So that conception and that is very important, and then comes the firm work, and then persistence, right? So this stage from birth till maturity is where pre-incubation, incubation, and all that happens. This is where the startup, startup word also comes up, because you really have to kind of propel, right? So quickly, incubators like ours, they are there because they provide, so they take care of those things which are not adding value to, you should be spending, as entrepreneurs, you should be spending your energy into your idea, into your proof of concept, into your market validation, not anything else. So incubators typically provide you service infrastructure so that you don't have to go out there looking for services like, Wi-Fi connection, access to servers, office space, etc., etc. You don't have to look for chartered accountants or company services or legal. All that should, because if you spend time on that, that is not adding value to the business, right? So many things, knowledge around financing, all of those things, right? So these are what things that the incubators, also access to partnerships and business relationship, corporate, all these things are provided by the incubator. I just wanted to make, because since it was startup to scale up, so this, a lot of students always ask me, they hear about this Series A, Series B, Series C funding and all that. So I made a simple chart here, where if you look at it, it's a revenue and timeline chart, the journey of a life cycle of a startup. So, in the initial phase, when you start, right, if you see it's a negative revenue, that's when the failure happens, because you're investing money. You don't make any money. So people who get into it thinking that they're going to make revenues right away, no. That's a phase where you burn, right? And I think Dr. Gopal mentioned about the break-even point. There's a time, but if you're able to withstand till then you can reach that stage. But most of the people do not manage to reach there. At this stage, who will fund you? Paisa kaun dega? Because at this stage, you do not have any revenue. You're only burning money. That's when they say angels from the sky will fall. That's why angel funding word aata hai. Because angels, you'll have to pray to them, right? And that's where the term seed capital comes in. Remember, I told you, nobody sees you on the surface. Sab tum under ho. Soil ke andar. Jab soil ke upar aate ho, sab log bolte hai. Everybody wants to be part of your fund. But when you're in the seed stage, so you look for seed capital. The term FFF, those who do not know, it's a very common term. मैं हमेशा बोलता हूँ, first phase में friends, family, right? And friends, family, and what is the third F?
Father.
Father-in-laws.
Father-in-law.
So basically, this is the stage. But after this, once you get through this stage, this is when the journey starts, right? When you start coming to a point where you're early stage, and then you come to a later stage, mature stage, and that's when venture capitalists, people come into play who are interested in you. By this time, your product is seeing above the surface, and then of course everybody would like to go into a IPO, right? So because once you reach a Series A, B, C, D, there is no E, F, and all that. But at a certain point in time, you have to go to the secondary, to the public market and go into an IPO. This is typically a journey of a startup. I will now take. Do I have 2 minutes, or should I wind up?
Yes, go ahead.
Yeah. So just to give you a little glimpse on SIBA, so we just to let you know, this 2018 there were 210 incubators. By 2020 there are over, I think, close to 500 incubators all over India. SIBA started in Goa in 2011. We started in one campus in Varna. Basically, we are a technology business incubator, which is an academic incubator, which means there has to be a host institute who hosts us. So Father Agnel had a college in Varna called PCCE, so which started this one. Sri Manohar Parrikar ji, when he was the chief minister, he inaugurated our center in Goa, in Varna. So this is some of the images there. Then in 2014, we started a second, because we had another engineering college in Asagaon, close to the north of Goa. Again, fortunately, Manohar Parrikar ji also came to inaugurate this one, but this time as Defense Minister of India. And this is our space there. There are multiple startups. And when in 2015, we, the Vashi, Father Agnes, applied for opening the third center. So we were the first in Navi Mumbai to get the technology business incubator, and we're the fifth in Mumbai. So the IIT SIGN, IIT Bombay has an incubator called SIGN, which has been there for 15 years. Then the Somaya has got Riddle, Sardar Patel has got the third one, BSc Zone Startup is there, and we were the fifth one. So this is our, this is SIBA Navi Mumbai. This is in Amchi Navi Mumbai. It's in Vashi. So this is our beautiful campus. It's about 17,000 square feet. Before COVID, we had about 135 people across 20 startups who were operating out of this space. We have all the modern whatever you can. I have not spent time in that. Of course, being a TBI, we have all the equipments that the startups have access to. So these are some of the things like AI ML server, a 3D printer. So depending on what the startups need or these equipment they can use, depending on what idea they're working on, right? So we do provide, like I said, explain in the initial part of my presentation, what a startup needs in the initial journey, right? So all these things, right from product prototyping, incubation, growth acceleration, to seed funding, advisory, everything is given at SIBA. See, we are, every incubator has got a thrust area. So if somebody comes with a very specific biotechnology problem, we say no to them because we do not have that expertise. That's not our thrust area. If somebody who comes on a specific hardware related product, we say no to them. So we have IT enabled service, IT mixed technologies, mostly in AI ML area, right? These are just some of the startups. That's my last slide. We have startups from all over. We have startups from IIT Bombay, IIT Kharagpur, IIT Kanpur. We have some from VIT. We have startups from Father Agnes, startup from other colleges around Navi Mumbai as well. Thank you very much. This is our, at SIBA Mumbai, you can go and find out, and this is our website. I'll stop the share.
You missed out my name.
It is there. It is there. Mentor by board is there.
Can't you see?
हाँ, it's there.
Yes, 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 it is there. I saw it, Divya.
नहीं, वो स्क्रीन के ना मेरे वो चैट विंडो के पीछे चला गया था वो. So I could not
I'll
see.
bring it in the center.
Yes, 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 yes.
Okay.
Thank you. Yes, so
Wonderful.
absolutely bang on, and I think you covered the entrepreneurship journey so well. You know, covering all the aspects of entrepreneurs when they are the seed and how they are growing to a sapling and then growing to the big trees and becoming the unicorns. Now, I will open this session for the question and answers. So whosoever has the question, please unmute yourself because we are in a very closed group and directly ask the question. That will be better rather than typing and posting in the chat box. So one by one, we can go ahead and please ask the questions to our experts today.
And introduce yourselves before doing that. There are
Yeah.
actually 2 questions already.
Yeah, please go ahead.
So
Let them ask. Yeah.
Yes. So Mrinalini has a question. Share this recording. Yes, Mrinalini, don't worry. We will just check with IMC office and Nitin will make sure if it is possible, we'll share this recording for you to share it further. We would love to do that. So we'll get back to you on this.
Thank you so much. Thank you.
Yes. And JS Manish, the first question, can incubators reverse the startup failure? So I think Prasad will be the best person to answer that, but they are there to help startups not to fail.
So there's nothing called reverse in startup language. There's only
Exactly.
pivot.
Yes.
Pivot means you start with a journey and you start, when you encounter something, you pivot, you change directions, right? There's the reverse means you're so adamant about your product that even if the market tells you कि ये चलेगा नहीं, हमें इसको कुछ और तरीके से जा रहे हैं, right? Then you try to adjust your product to the market, right? Of course,
I
it is.
think,
A lot of people are doing it.
So I think, there is one thing.
Something out
which
here,
I-
Divya.
Yes, sir.
Divya, can I add something out here?
Yes, please, sir. Please go ahead.
You see, first of all, we should understand the definition of startup failures. And why do failures occur? Why failures occur? Because as Prasad also said, the guy is completely immersed in his own technology and does not look here and there outside. He developed something, and my own experience has told me that a lot of these guys say, "Sir, this is the best thing, this is the one which is required, etc." But the market says, "I don't require this, I need you to do these handouts." Number one. And this guy is not willing to do it. Or if he is willing, he says, no, there's so much of trouble. Number two is, the failure occurs because he expects that since he's got a good product, he goes up to Divya and says, "Divya, buy my product." Divya should buy the product. Divya pagal hai kya to buy the product? She's not mad. She will evaluate it, she will value, find out, etc., and then say yes or no, and then you talk about value for the product. And this is where you got to have resilience to succeed. You got to accept failures. And let me tell you, for a startup, the first 2 years are very, very critical. Because you got to taste blood. You got to taste blood, and you got to do virtually trumpeting of that what you got. Many of us don't want to do it. Many of us are saying, "Are kyun karna hai?" People know it. People don't know it. You got to communicate. And startups fail because they do not communicate their products, and they do not talk about their USPs.
Absolutely. Thank you. Yes, thank you so much. And I would just add to what Prasad and Gopal sir has mentioned, that fail fast and fail forward. That is very important for every startup to remember. And ideas are always easy, but implementation is the key, and it's hard. So I think the entire journey of a startup determines whether you fail, whether you succeed, is how you're going to execute. Ultimate communication, the way Gopal sir has mentioned, ultimate how you execute, how you strategize is what is going to be determining the success of your startup.
So
yes,
there's a
next
question. Yes,
Yeah.
there's a question already in the chat box. I think any of you experts can take. Do you provide assistance from startups who are already in business but want to start something new? So, existing businesses when they're starting something new. Yes.
Can I just share my story here? I
think,
already am.
Divya,
Yeah.
so we'll take this question and then, take that example. Yes.
Yeah.
So Prasad, if you just wanted to answer this question.
So,
Yeah.
of course, we do not see, there is no eligibility for any startup. We do not ask for what degree or what business you are already in. No. We look at the strength of the idea, the strength of the problem that has been identified, the strength of the team, etc. If you already have a business and want to start something new, actually it works positively for you. It's in your favor. Okay, that's a short answer.
Wonderful. Next question. Yeah, Shweta. Is there any other questions?
No, you wanted to share something. So in fact, that is the question that I wanted to ask from Prasad, but maybe you can share because you have been on the other side. So when you approach an incubation center like SIBA, there are many other in the country. And how did you go about it? So all that would help a lot of people.
Yeah, so let me just share a story, because I know a lot of people are here, startups, and they're starting, or they have wonderful ideas and they want to implement. So let me tell you, I am a company secretary by profession with 15 years of industry experience. And 2 or 3 years down the line, I identified there was a challenge about the board practices, the governance practices. And that's where I started working on that idea. And now I am incubated with SIBA. So in spite of having my own existing business, still I have got incubated with SIBA because there was a pain area, and the startup which I have made has got the the solution which we are trying to build in. So that's, I think, Prasad, you may like to add some points on how really people can go for the startup registrations. What are the benefits if they go for startup registration? In just 5 minutes, if you can take some.
I'll tell you, there's tons of resources. If you go to startupindia.gov.in, then there are tons of research which tells you everything. From somebody asked, the list of all the incubators in India is mentioned there by state, by city. All the schemes, it's mentioned there. Applications is mentioned there. Also, what is important, and I feel everybody should do that, I make it a point that everyone who comes here, I inform them about is under startupindia.gov.in, under the learning and development menu, you'll find an upgrade program. It's a 4-week entrepreneurship program which is funded by government. It's an upgrade program in English and Hindi. Absolutely great program. I would urge everyone, each one of you to go through the program. It will make you understand the crux of entrepreneurship, the steps, including how to set up a company. Everything is there. Unit economics, funding, all the jargons are understood. I, in fact, use that to teach my entrepreneurship management students of MMS. So startupindia.gov.in, go there, all the resources are there.
Bang on.
So Prasad,
yes.
here is a question from the audience, and it's also personally my question. So from the incubation side, what are, okay, going about it, all that is right. So, but as an incubation center, what do you really look at? Basic parameters, how do you evaluate when you take up cases?
Good question. So we have, see, this is not to boast, but unfortunately, we cannot take all applications.
Exactly.
So 10%, I think right now only 10% of who apply get in. But I am not saying those 90% were not fit for us. It could be multiple reasons. It could be the fact that they are working in areas where we cannot support. It could be the fact that they're too early. If they're too early, then we put them and we call them as pre-incubatees. So government has given us criteria for selection also, because we are a government supported, which talks about strength of the team, robustness of the idea, social impact, right? Product innovation that is happening. So these criteria are there, and we have it's not Prasad Menon who decides whether the strength is good. So we have a panel of external entrepreneurs and somebody from academic technology field also. All of us sit together, like Divya has been through that process where the presentation is made. So we are not looking for startups who are already successful. Fir incubation ka kya fayda? Right? We are not looking at kya revenue bana liya, nothing. So that is a criteria. So there's a whole process there. If you go to siba.org.in/Mumbai, there is a application there. Please feel free to apply. Anybody, apply, and there are questions asked. So that's how it goes.
Thank you. Thank you. Any questions from the audience? Others, please.
You can unmute yourself and ask the question. Yes.
Yes.
Yeah. May I just ask Mrinalini this side?
Yes.
Sir, can you just repeat the points on the basis you take, the participants for incubation? I was able to write down strength, then product innovation, and which were the other three?
Social impact.
Okay.
Social impacts and return on investment potential. Whether that I forgot to mention, return on investment potential, the strength of the team.
Yes.
Whether the team, how strong the team is. Even if it's one person, does that person understand that market very well or not? Right.
Okay. So if I may ask, sir, here, being a social entrepreneur, I have been wanting to get into products which are environment friendly. Like for washing, I use surf and etc. But I don't find so much which is environment friendly. So do you think that is a good thought to think on those lines for a startup?
I think this won't be the forum to answer that question. To be honest, we have something called, we do idea validation camps, where we invite entrepreneurs just like you who are at the idea stage, where I give a workshop on how to first frame your idea, and then I put you in front of multiple mentors where you have a one-on-one where you can shoot, right? No idea is stupid, just shoot it.
So,
right?
sir,
may I
would
say
like to
something?
give you- Yes.
I would like to say something about what Ma'am Mrinalini has asked about the product. Ms. Mrinalini, let me tell you that there are so many developments and new products are being introduced based on the environment friendly formulations. Now, the thing is, if you see all these products becomes expensive, whatever you make environment friendly becomes expensive because of the formulation. Now, if somehow you are able to make the competitive product which are environment friendly as well, then definitely you can take a lead. But so far, whosoever is making environment friendly products are getting expensive because of the basic raw material which are sourced either from the natural products or kind of thing are getting expensive. So that's the overall thing. It should be effective as well economical.
Yes,
Not only
thank
that,
you. Thank you so
not
much.
only that, sir, I just want to add two more points out here. Not only that, sir, she mentioned something like going, substituting surf, Excel, etc. Yeah. No,
Yes,
these are all industrial giants.
yeah,
Their advertising budgets itself runs into crores. Yeah.
yes,
And if you watch the TV, with every second there is one ad.
right, sir.
Now, do you have the money to compete with them?
Sir, but we have very strong motivation and intent. We are a very, international platform and
मोटिवेशन से पैसा नहीं बनता है.
right, sir.
Motivation
But
से पैसा नहीं बनता. But I will tell you what, you can only do it in a very limited scale. Maximum you can sell it to your friends and this thing, but you cannot go global with it.
Sir, can I say something here?
Yes.
I
With
would
the-
obviously Mrinalini has to discuss the idea. She has just stated her idea.
So,
But
yes.
sir, agar bade companies, products, brands like Mama Earth, Urban, so many companies that we know. I'm talking about FMCG. Jisme budgeting, advertisement budgets are highest. They have given tough nights to PNGs, the Maricos of the world, and have been bought, and various things have happened. जिस space में सबसे ज़्यादा advertising और branding की ज़रूरत होती है. So obviously, what
I
you say is
think,
right, but a big,
well taken point.
yes,
Correct.
a big brand should not scare us, but yes, you need to be completely sure about, apart from your
May-
passion and motivation, what more? How can you take it ahead? How
So
can
you should
May-
have the
may I
confidence in
just-
your product first. I think that is what more important.
may I just ask Gopalji something? Because thank you so much for telling me very frankly the practical aspect. So even surf might have tomorrow a very environment friendly product, because the way the climate crisis is happening and the way we are polluting our rivers, you never know. What do you say?
Let me tell you a very simple strategy, Mrinalini, in this case, okay? Now I will give you a very simple strategy. You develop the product, make a little bit of success out of it, and then within 2 years or 3 years, sell it to the you manufacturers like HUL and all these people, and get out of it and develop another one. This is the only way, because I am very clear in all of these things. I'm very clear. I mean, a lot of people tell me a lot of things, but then homegrown products, they suffer a lot. Why do they suffer? Because they are not able to come against these multinationals. And as James Up said, when I go and buy a product, I look at what? I look at value for the product, number one. Number two, I look at the communication skill that I have. How much I am bombarded. I am bombarded. You just look at Pepsi and Coke. Just look at them. How many of you all go? I'm not talking about the poor people, but how many of you all go and drink the roadside vendor ka limbu juice?
Absolutely.
Yeah. How many of you all do that? And therefore, my suggestion to you is, think of the product, develop it, do a pilot study, work well with it, manufacture it in a small scale, very small scale, and then sell it off. Use that money to develop another product.
Sell it off means go to these giant companies that see
Yes.
this is what.
Yes.
See, if your
Okay.
product has so well,
Yeah.
result is so well, these companies come to you. I'll tell you. In fact, I was listening to a study by Harsh Mariwala, and he said Medicare. Medicare, you all know that lice, the product which has specially designed to kill the lice, on the head. And this product was not working well. The product is wonderful, but the product was not working well. And when the Marico acquired that product, the product has completely gone international, and even in a lot of places. So if you have a product and you don't have that market size and scalability, it's always a wise decision to sell it off to a bigger companies, who then take it to the next level. Because ultimately, when we talk of the bigger aspect of it, of humanity, it has to reach to more and more people. So if you are not able to do it, then somebody else should do it. So that's what I feel.
Yes, yes.
Yes.
Thank you. This was very fruitful discussion. Thank you.
Yeah.
Okay, any other questions? I think there is a question about private limited and LLP. 17th Feb is the date. Mark it in your calendar. We have a special session where we are going to talk about compliances. Yes, so 17th Feb is when you should come in to this series, Wednesday at 5, and you will get these questions answered. Now let's stick to the topic and let's talk about what other issues that all of you have today who have logged in. Compliance बाद में लेते हैं, specific to finance. We have all planned that in the upcoming sessions. So let's talk about the issues that we have taken up today. Okay, so Dr. Gopal and Prasad Menon, while both of you were speaking, you spoke about one thing that was also there in my mind. I would want to take this question. I request participants.
Shweta, I can't hear you. Can you come a little bit close to the mic, please?
So
Thank
I'm using a earphone. Yes. Yes. So the question here is, both of you have touched this topic a little bit. In my experience also, what I see around me, whenever there are businesses in this initial 3 years, a lot of focus is there on funding. Funding milega, ye hoga, and I'm testing version 1, version 2, version 3. I hear a lot of these young entrepreneurs, and when it's a technology product saying. So that is one thing. But I feel personally that, that pilot thing or selling your first version, whatever it is, to a certain set of people, your clients, people who buy your products, really giving you, saying it works or not is the actual test of the product. How do you agree? How can we balance this? Going to different versions and looking for funding, or really going out in the market, testing it, making people pay for it. They may be from family, friends, and relatives, but then testing a product.
Shweta, let me give you slightly on the theoretical side, a little bit, okay? And then I'll even elaborate it on the practical side, how we do it, okay? Now, on the theoretical side, the first thing is to prepare a concept paper. The concept paper tells you what exactly is your product that you have, where is it applied, gives you a very, very broad idea about the market, gives you a very broad idea about who your customers are, etc., who are the competitors, etc. Very, very broad. Once you do this, the second step is to develop it still further. And when you talk about developing, then I want to see a marketing plan from you. That means I want to see what is the market that you are looking at. Now, what do I mean by that? You got to first talk about the market size, for which you got to do a market research. You can't get away with it. You can't say हमने श्वेता से बात किया, दिव्या से बात किया, जैन साहब से बात किया, ये है market, वो नहीं चलेगा. You have to go deep and do a market size. Talk to at least about 100, 200 people to understand what is happening. So you must have a market size which is quantity and value. You must understand who are your customers and what do they require. Number 2. Number 3, very important, as Jain Saab said, you must understand the government policies. Now, if you are not on the digital space, but you are on the technological space, then you must understand what the raw material requirements are. Where do I get the raw material requirements? Who are your competitors? And most important, you got to do a cost structure analysis. you don't do a cost structure analysis, you cannot succeed. Having done this, you prepare a financial plan for the next 5 years. In just 30 seconds, I'll tell you what is the financial plan says. It tells you what is the material cost, what is the labor cost, what is the overheads cost, how much profit are you going to make, what is the selling price, how much profit are you going to make, when are you going to arrive at a break even. And if you don't get your break even within 2 years as a startup, believe me, that product will never sell in the market. Then you can keep on doing version 1, version 2, version 3, version 4, all the versions that you want to do.
Thank
You
you.
must break even within 2 years.
Yes, yes. Prasad, your views on this?
Let me complete, then let Prasad come in, Shweta. Yeah. The second very important thing is, when you go to the bank, the first question the banks ask is, अरे ये चलेगा क्या? आपने किसी को बेचा क्या? That means, have you tasted blood? Now, if you don't taste blood and you just come with a lofty paper, it doesn't work. And you have to demonstrate it. And that is very critical. Every successful businessman, my own students have been into the digital space, and I've been helping them in setting up their businesses. What do I find? It takes minimum 8 months for you from the start concept to the first order that you get, and you got to virtually work like a one-man army. And you don't do that, where do you get? We get frustrated because we feel, oh, we've created a product, the product is really good according to me, not according to the others outside.
Yes.
And then we are hesitant to, we got to accept failures in our stride. We got to have that fire in the belly. And if you don't have that fire in your belly, you cannot succeed.
Yes.
You cannot succeed. You got to have that risk-taking ability. For the first 6 months, in addition to the business, there should be somebody who is willing to provide funds to you for your survival.
Yes, 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 of course. Yes.
Then only you can succeed. Now, Shweta, your expert comments.
Yes. Yes, Prasad, your views.
Can I speak for 1 minute? Vimal here.
Yes, Vimal sir, boliye. I saw you. I was thinking, why have you not come into the discussion? Boliye, boliye.
No, excuse me, I have quite different view than the Dr. Gopal. What the lady was telling, if she is convinced about her product, she should be definitely successful. Don't worry about the competition. If you are succeed, I know the story. No, I am from Bikaner, Haldiram. He was in a small room like this. But I know the owner. He was convinced my product is good. Today, now see where he has gone. If you are convinced, and you should be prepared for the failures. You see the life of any, say, Jordan, biggest basket player in the world. He says he failed 2,300 times. But today what you see me, Jordan, is after failure of 2,300 times. So you must be prepared for the failure. You should be convinced about your product, and you should have clear goal in your product, what product I'm offering.
Yes,
my story. So say my story. I was convinced about my product.
Exactly.
Today I am selling to the biggest company in the world.
Exactly.
It's starting with so never be on the this negative side. Be positive. You will be 100% successful. That is my contact, my story, and I know what other people have done. That's I wanted to say.
Vimal
Thank
sir,
you.
अपने business के बारे में just introduce a little bit about AHA Impact so others know your background.
Yeah, no, I started because I am basically an engineer from Pilani. I started my career with the Mafatlal Industries, but unfortunately closed. Then, I tried to so many, export business where I was not successful. But then I decided I will go to the export business. I started this agri-food business, and I decided I will give the best product, meet the best standard in the world. That was my goal. With that goal, today I'm able to feed biggest food company in the world. You take the Kroger, you take the Kraft Foods, you take the Woodland Foods. I'm able to feed them. I'm able to supply them because I never was some initially my product was rejected. Maybe it's okay. It is part of the game. But today, anybody comes. It is I have got my image in the market, image in the international market. I started such things. So whosoever comes in my contact, okay, if you have got technology, you are expert, but in the business you must be expert in your field. You should be number
Exactly.
one, try to be number one. So I advise my friends, if you are number one, you leave the service, start your business, and at least 90% people have been very successful. Today my friend who left the service, he is consultant for the biggest company, an antivirus company. He is consultant. So he's convinced. If your technology you are convinced, you don't have to worry.
Yes,
You
yes.
go ahead and do the business.
This is the passion of an entrepreneur speaking from inside, And so there's a question also from Jagdish, if you are there. I think this was to you, Prasad. He's asking, do incubators, I think he means do incubators do handholding in finding investors for startups?
Just quickly to answer your first question, I always say to startups, if you come to an incubator with funding in mind, money should be one of the resources. It's like getting talent, getting access to funds. That cannot be the wherewithals of anybody, right? So, and why would an investor invest in you if you are not convinced? How much have you invested yourself? There are a lot of people who say, "Main naukri kar raha hu, ye mera plan B hai." What about the plan B for the investor? So we do, of course, as far as investors are concerned, I say if it's a great idea, has got a great, proven concept, has got good traction, then money is not a problem, right? Investors, and we do definitely help startups get funding. In fact, government has given us also, it's called Nidhi SSS. You heard Prime Minister Modi ji talk about 1,000 crore fund for startups, a seed. But there's already a fund under Nidhi SSS where every incubator gets up 2 to 10 crores where they can invest in the startups that they are incubating. Of course, it's not like just giving it away. There's a whole committee and everything. So our incubator in Goa got 2 crores and we have invested in 17 companies so far. Our incubator in Vashi has not yet got the fund. We are waiting for the fund, but that's one kind of fund, right? But you don't go to established VCs at this stage, at an early stage, because funding Dunna is a full-time job. It distracts you from your business, from your customers and everything. I hope that answers your question.
Yes, yes. Thank you so much. Yes. Are there any other questions? I think, Divya, we have
But
just...
the funding is never Shweta, I want to add something. Funding is not at all a problem. Funding is available. There are government schemes which are available. There are a lot of VCs which are available. They've got tons and tons of money, but they're all saying only one thing. We need to see a good business plan. We need to see a good product. We need to see a good market. And without all of that, I mean, nobody's going to give you money.
True. Very true.
Yeah.
Yes.
And believe me when I tell you something, banks in Chembur, where I stay in Bombay, Chembur, yeah, I've given loans to even roadside vendors.
Yes.
10,000 rupees. All that they've asked is just एक छोटा सा पेपर दो, तुम्हारे पास धंधा है क्या? कैसा होता है धंधा उसके? They make their own notes and then they give them the money. Money is available. What they are looking at is, do you have a quality product? Do you have a quality market? Is your product sellable? These are things which they're all looking at.
Yes, yes. So I think we are just closing. Last 5 minutes. We are 5:22. We have to close at 5:30. Any questions? Jagdish, you were not there. Your question just got answered by Prasad. Yes, they do help, and they have their own funds also, in which they also put in select businesses.
There is one question from Priya. Just check.
Yes. Can
yeah.
those who want to create demand to the customer have the knowledge of the product? Sorry, Priya, can you please explain your question?
You can speak, Priya.
I mean to say, yeah, hello, am I audible?
Yes, you are. You
Hello.
are. Yes, you are.
Yeah, I wanted to ask is if a particular product, like if you say a juice, people know a juice. If a juice, you're making a Mosambi juice, and you make an organic juice or a health drink, which is giving them, people know that how good is Mosambi juice. But if you give them a completely scientific juice, so you are creating a demand for that product, which is going to help them in making reduce their diabetes or reduce that. So won't these such kind of products create demand?
Of course.
So it's a very, yes.
Of course, it will create a demand, but then you need to communicate properly for this. And you need to identify the channels through which it would go. And you need to identify your target customers.
Okay, sir.
Because I'll tell you today, food, beverages, especially health drinks,
Yes, sir.
all of us have become very, very sensitive to the health needs of a person.
Very true. So this is just an example I wanted to give. So my product line is different, but it will take a lot of time. So I will better tell it next time.
Yes, 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 yes.
So I think I'll just add on to what Gopal sir also mentioned, is you need to position your product very well. I mean, there is a demand for Maruti 800 also, or there is a demand for Mercedes Benz also. So you need to identify your target market very well, and based on which there is a huge scope. So that's what will position you separately, and you have to position yourself in that market particularly.
Exactly, exactly.
Yeah.
Any last question? So, taking the example forward, Tata Nano is a classical example of communication failure. So excellent product, bad communication. So, when she was talking about the automobile industry. Any other question?
Sweta, the product was also bad.
For the price point, maybe
No. Even, you see, I'll tell you the problem with Tata Nano, because I did a detailed study on Tata Nano, okay? Tata Nano is virtually, if you allow me to talk crudely, it's a rickshaw which has been opened up. You put a wheel out here, it becomes a four-wheeler.
Okay.
Yeah. The dicky is in front, the engine is below your seat, exactly like the rickshaw. And it is a product failure because the rickshaw caught fire, because the battery was a weak battery. And the customer complaint was, वो पीछे से कोई मारता है हमको, I'm crushed like a. And then Ratan Tata himself said, he said, yes, it's a product failure, number one. Number two, it's also a communication failure.
True, true.
Where you don't use the word cheap.
Yes.
He said it's a cheap product. और cheap का मतलब होता है second hand, third hand.
Yes, true.
Both are there. Both a combination of both.
Yes.
Okay. So yes, I think wonderful interactions, wonderful insights by our speakers today, experts today. And now I would request Shweta to, have the details of the next session, next week's session, the topic and the speakers. And then, most important thing which I would like to tell everyone is, please share the word about this series in your connections and make sure that they are joining for the next session with you, so that there is more and more awareness in Navi Mumbai about these kind of sessions. So over to you, Shweta, for the details about the next session. Yeah.
Yes. So all of you who have registered with us, we have your email IDs and contact details. You would be getting the details. It is next Wednesday, right back at the same time, 4 o'clock. And it is on finance and funding, where we will specify specifically take up these issues. Our speakers are from Yes Bank is a participant, and we have 100 VC fund. So,
100x VC.
100x VC, yes. So a venture fund and a bank are coming to answer your questions, what they evaluate, what they look at, what are the key criteria they look at, what kind of startups, what funds, what schemes, all of that. So next Wednesday, but if in case any of you have forgotten to register and have just used the login details, please leave your contact details in the chat window so that we can send you the details of the next session. We will be sharing the communication, the invite with all of you. So please make sure that you spread it in your contacts, among your contacts in your entrepreneur community, and let everybody who is really wanting to understand how to go about creating a business plan which can be evaluated for financing, join the next session, which is next Wednesday.
Perfect. And on behalf of IMC, Jain sir, I request you to please put a vote of thanks for our speakers today. So over to you, sir.
Thank you, Divya. Friends, before I put up formal vote of thanks to the speakers and to the participants, I would like to say something about success of these events. The first flagship event, which was held on 12th of January, and the weekly event, the first series started today. There are two ladies behind success of these events. My co-chairperson Devya Momaya and senior managing committee member Shweta. Let me tell you that right from the day one, when we decided to go ahead and initiate this project, I would say this project because this is not simply event. This is a project initiated by IMC Navi Mumbai. Both of them have been working relentlessly, not only in the field, but having great coordination with various people in Navi Mumbai as well in IMC HO to make this event successful. And on 12th of Jan, we had 170 participants from various parts, even from abroad as well. And today also participation was very good, 43 at the peak time, and still we have 35 to 40. So I would give the 100% credit to both these ladies. So
Thank
my
you, sir.
first vote of thanks goes to both of them. And they have been working so hard, and they are ensuring that our future events, future weekly events also go very successfully. Thank you to both of you. Now, I would like to thank our expert speakers, Dr. Gopal and Mr. Prasad, for sparing time and coming to this event, for their very valuable suggestions, their very valuable advice to the participants. And that gives great value to our event.